So I often hear people say in mass media and just the American population in general that we need to bring the debt down. The debt's hurting our economy, and Trump's going to bring it down. And that sounds like a really good thought. Bringing the debt down would help our economy, and it is a good idea. However, when you actually look at how our banking system is designed and how money comes into existence, it's actually impossible. And most people don't know this, and I didn't know this till 6 or 7 months ago, but it is just a fundamentally flawed institution, our banking system. It's fundamentally flawed, and it's flawed on purpose. It's flawed to screw people over. So pretty much what happens is the banks or the governments go to one of the central banks, the World Bank, IMF, Federal Reserve, and they ask for a loan. And the banks give them that loan, but with that loan, there's debt attached to it. And this is true with every bit of money that comes into existence. There's always debt attached to money when it comes into existence. Even when we work, we owe that debt to society, and we get paid for it. So money and debt are pretty much the same thing. They cannot exist separately from each other. So we pretty much don't pay our debts back at all, which is why we have such high debt. But what we do pay back to the bankers, and this is why they're such rich, powerful people, is interest. They charge interest on every loan given out to the governments. And you ask yourself, where does that money come from for the interest? Because you're giving the loan to the government, but if you're charging more, then where does the money come from? Well, the answer is the money doesn't exist. They create it out of thin air. And because of this fact, there will always be more debt in existence than money. That is just a fundamental fact of how our banking system works. And all that this system does, the bankers know that they're going to get paid. All this system does is it takes money from the people at the bottom and it funnels it to the top. And which is why we have such great income disparity in this country, and why it's only going to get worse. I mean, it's predicted that in 30 to 40 years, 60% of the world's countries are going to be bankrupt. And that's because this debt is just going to continue to pile up, and it's going to catch up to us pretty soon. Now, I will say that it is a little bit more intricate than that, but generally that is how our banking system works. For the bankers and not the people. And I think this is more general knowledge that people need to have, because these bankers, people have conspiracies, these people are New World Order, they're ruling our lives. I don't believe that. I think they have a lot of influence over us, and they have a lot of influence over our politicians, as do many other people. But they're kind of at the top, or they're right around the top. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Morgans, those type of people, they have great influence over our politicians, over our policies, and we need to recognize that this is a rigged institution. It is rigged in their favor, which is why they're so rich, and these are the people we need to be fighting against and speaking out against on the real.